and gentlemen of Go Comedy, it's now time for True Revelations Uncovered Through Heroism. Please welcome your hosts, Lil Dickie Ricketts and Thomas Luge.
True Revelations Uncovered Through Heroism.
They don't know the truth of us.
That was our intro. How about that? That's some fancy stuff. Hey, this is not a comedy show. Just want to establish that right from the top. If that's what you're here for, that's not what you're gonna get. Well, unless we can do a joke if you want. We'll do a knock-knock joke. You start. Yeah, improv is hard, isn't it? We can do it though. Give us a location that fits on the stage. You can't come up with you should probably enroll in classes here. They're very good, very affordable.
Please do that before the next meeting.
Yes, Pete, do you have information on next class enrollment?
The term just started. Get in now.
Get in now. Then you'll be able to do stuff like tell us a location that fits. Give us an object that fits in our hands. So I'm little Dickie Ricketts holding this peanut butter cup with my partner Thomas Luge holding a peanut butter cup. He is my sensei, my yogi, my guru. He's the peanut butter inside my peanut butter cup. He's also the wrapping around my peanut butter cup where the little bit of peanut butter gets stuck to the bottom and then you have to lick it off, and god damn if that's not the best part. I'd lick your bottom off anytime. Hey, that came out funny.
I appreciate the sentiment, Dickie.
So this is True Revelations Uncovered Through Heroism. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to invite some heroes up here. They're going to do a presentation. Thomas is a remote viewer. Next slide, please, Peter. We also have a podcast. Probably should have told you that up front. It's very popular. I'm sure you listen to it. We're up to how many episodes right now with you, Gander? 27, very close.
Very close.
You underestimated us. I like how I pointed to you and you made her speak. You must be a 7th degree remote viewer too. Thomas used to be, but then he had sex with an owl. Next slide, please.
It was unfortunate.
This is why we're accredited. These are our credits. This is why you should listen to us. This is Thomas Luge. He nearly graduated from Yale. He studied with the Dalai Lama. He did DMT. He's a psychonaut. He did that with Joe Rogan. I'm Dickie Ricketts. I'm loud. We should explain remote viewing. This is how he did the slides. He can remote view. So,
Yes, of course. We do not have the heroes email us their slides because the NSA is tracking all of that and it is much too dangerous. So what we do is I remote view into their minds as they are looking at their screens and I create their slides on my laptop.
checks out. Do a demonstration. Remote view something from my brain.
Okay.
I'm going to think of my favorite non-Back to the Future Michael J. Fox movie. You pluck it out there, Thomas.
Okay.
There should be no problem for a cinephile like you. Any Michael J. Fox movie. I got 3 of them in my head right now.
Teen Wolf.
Very good. That was it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Do it with someone in the audience.
Okay, I will do it with someone in the
Do
audience.
something easy with this guy. He looks like he's had a hard life.
So, will you please think of your favorite color? No, you weren't supposed to tell me what color it was.
You're probably going to have to pick, she's tricky. Do her.
Ma'am, think of your favorite color. Yellow. That is the fluoride in your water blocking my abilities.
Exactly, you should drink out of garden hoses like I do. Blocks of fluoride. We're getting to the point of year where people turn off their outside water and gets thirsty. We're going to do a demonstration. I told Thomas that I wanted to speak about impeachment. Next slide, please, Pete. So here's a special report about impeachment by yours truly, Little Dickie Ricketts. Impeachment. Next slide. The imp from Game of Thrones. He's a wise man, just like Donald Trump. He was a planner, a schemer. Next slide. There's Donald Trump. He's fist bumping a couple foreign dignitaries, because that's what he does. Next slide. So he's, about the impeachment, he's, doing stuff with other countries, trying to make Joe Biden look bad and everything. Canada, public enemy number one. Who's he going to in Canada? Peter? Peaches, Canadian superstar. Peaches, feminist. If there's one thing about Donald Trump, clearly a feminist. He cares about women. That's why when he wants to grab them, he does it by the pussy. You can't grab a fella by the pussy because he just has sensitive nuts down there. Donald Trump knows that women are superior. Next slide, please. Presidents of the United States, peaches. It's been there all along. If these glasses were prescription, I could read those lyrics. Ross, help me out with the lyrics.
Peaches come from a can.
Yes,
They're put there by a man.
that is true too.
In a factory downtown.
Absolutely.
If I had a little my way. Oh, I'm sorry, if I had my little way.
Uh-huh.
I eat peaches every day.
I bet you would.
Sun-soaking bulges in the shade.
What does that mean exactly?
I was hoping.
Exactly. You don't have the answers. That's why you're not up here right now. You were just cavorting in Las Vegas. Thomas, do we have anything to add before we bring our first hero up?
I believe you covered it, Dickie.
I believe I did. Not bad for a guy who's very sick right now.
No, you did a wonderful job.
All right. Peter, you're going to have to burn this microphone after the show. I may have the flu and or full-blown AIDS. All right, let's take our seats. Next slide, please, Peter. Ooh, he's on one of the first episodes of the podcast. Guess which episode back there?
The first?
Nope.
Number 2.
Number 2. That's the poop episode.
Yes.
My favorite part about old talk shows at night, like Johnny Carson Daily, was when he'd bring on animal experts. Get to play with the iguanas and stuff.
And we assure you that although it is episode 2, it is not as bad as excrement.
No, it's one of my favorites. This fella's not going to bring out a koala bear for y'all to ooh and ah over. He's going to tell some real truths about animals. I met him at the Detroit Zoo. How have you been doing, Mitch Weber?
I've been doing fantastic, little Dickie. Been doing real good.
Are you still preaching on top of a milk crate at the Detroit Zoo?
I'm talking to people loudly in a lot of places. I don't call it preaching.
Your mic's not on, apparently.
I'm still talking real loudly.
There is a second microphone right in front of you. This is why he's an animal expert and not a microphone expert.
I'm embarrassed about all of it.
I think you should be. He speaks loud.
I speak loudly, but I only speak human. Still not, what am I doing wrong?
I don't know,
At the bottom.
probably not trade with me on account of the fact that I'm like Tom Hanks at the end of Philadelphia listening to classic music while Denzel Washington stands there awkwardly like, what the fuck is going on? And why is this white guy wearing a kufi?
I don't want to trade microphones with Tom Hanks from the end of that movie where he's wearing that, and the other guy's like, why is he wearing a kufi?
I'm like Antonio Banderas weeping over me in a hospital bed near death right now.
I'm so happy to be here tonight, though, with all these forward-thinking folks. Are we ready for me to start? We've talked about it, but I want to get right to it. I don't want to get buried behind the minutia of being so excited about seeing you, little Dickie. I'm here to talk to you guys about how animals aren't real.
Again, not a comedy show. There is no need for you to laugh. This is some hard truth that apparently you're not aware of yet. Again, episode 2 of the Truth Cast.
As we have all been miseducated, right? Animals, as we understand them, do not exist. There are but 4 animals, period. That's it. Everything else are just those 4 animals in clever disguises. All right? The 4 existing animals: jellyfish, badger, squirrel, mole. Duh. All right, we can go for a question. If anybody has anything outside, any obvious questions, jump up. People are like, hey, I know I've seen a dog. No, you haven't. What you've seen is a dedicated, tricky fucking squirrel. My cat, smaller, less dedicated, equally tricky squirrel.
I learned this earlier in the week, Mitch. You know how your cat likes to bring you dead animals? Apparently cats do that because they don't believe you can hunt.
They do believe I am an inferior hunter. Squirrels, very arrogant. All right? One of the diversity.
Cats are squirrels?
Yeah, cats are small, dedicated squirrels.
Oh.
Yeah. Little less dedicated than a dog, or they would be bigger. Duh.
What about Grumpy Cat, R.I.P.?
Grumpy cat, will God rest his little angry squirrel soul.
What is it that makes one set of squirrels more dedicated than the other?
A lot of people think it's upbringing, but I think it's just how they're born.
What about Little Bub? Cute little squirrel?
Yeah, cute squirrels are a little problematic, because all squirrels, as you should know, are brutally angry, right? So if you should meet one who is softer, who is whatever, if you've got like a little Shar-Pei, little harmless dog, still an angry squirrel, probably made friends with a mole. Open-minded, but still kind of hateful.
Now, do angry squirrels in any way become angry birds?
No, that's completely unrelated, and you sound foolish.
I thought it was a valid question.
You were wrong, all right? You were just straight up wrong. Almost everything in the air is just a fancy jellyfish, all right? We pushed them up, yeah, we pushed them. They came from the water, we didn't let them on the land, boom, sublimated into the air.
So in Angry Jellyfish, the popular application, what are the pigs?
Pigs, or I like to call them fat badgers. Fat badgers, that's a pig. A lot of your ground varmint, right? Horse athletic badger. Right?
Fat Badger was my nickname in high school.
Good nickname though, Diggy.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Did you get it from other folks, or was it one you self-described?
I got it from 3 squirrels.
3 squirrels. 3 squirrels.
Trying to get into a rated R movie.
Yeah, 3 squirrels, that's actually part of a giraffe. All right, a giraffe is a solid ground badger with 2 or 3 squirrels working together for chicanery.
Could you go through some slides and classify other animals for us?
Sure.
Okay.
As I've already talked about, that's just a mole-leaning squirrel. Real friendly. Pekingese, Shih Tzu, those are all that's just talking. That's like saying a hot dog's not a sandwich. Okay, sure. All right. Next. A panda, clearly a bear, clearly that's just a lazier badger. All right? Just a happier badger, just a simpler badger.
Is there any jellyfish inside a panda bear?
No, that's just a simple mixed race badger. That's all a panda is a mixed race black and white badger baby. That's
I understand.
a mole badger. Do we have any other questions on badgers? I feel uncomfortable about it. Now, I need to know, this one is specific, all right? Because clearly, this looks like a bee, could be a wasp, could be a flying ant. Many of these things that you see here, this is called convergent evolution. That white or that yellow and black striping thing right there, that black and yellow, that pattern happens frequently, right? It's very therapeutic, right? But almost all flying things, jellyfish, which can change their colors. Yeah.
So bumblebees, if that is in fact what that is 100% jellyfish?
Not 100%. Think of it as like all of 7% of jellyfish.
All of 100% of 7%.
100% of 7% of jellyfish. is what makes a bee, yes.
What would 7% of 100% be?
That would just be 7 little jellyfish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just simple math. That's not a taxonomical situation. It has nothing to do with biology. That's just
That's just so
algebra.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have any other? Oh, that bumblebee, almost all human.
Wait.
Yeah. Human, as we talked about both on the earlier podcast, and I don't know why I'm picking up your southern accent. It's infectious. Humans are a bit of a collection of the 4 existing animal species, right? The 4 animals kind of come together. All the mole, badger, squirrel, and jellyfish come together in like a Voltron or Captain Planet-like scenario, which is why we are the stewards of this rock.
So would you say that we take the best qualities of each one of those animals?
I wouldn't say the best, but the loudest and the tallest, yes.
Which qualities come from which specific animal?
It varies. Think of it, it's not so much like one genetic, more like a set of alleles. You're like, oh, is he brave or is he just drunk? Could be either one. We don't really know. They manifest differently.
Now, because you said that Captain Planeting together, is that why humans are the only species that use ribbons to raise awareness for causes? And can you speak on that?
I believe, well, it is October, the month of October, and I do believe I see a lot of pink ribbons, which if I'm led to believe, the pink ribbons are for breast cancer awareness, right?
Correct, sir.
Right, which 3 of those 4 animals we have do have breasts as we normally understand them. But the blue ribbons, those are just what they give out for breast cancer awareness.
I believe that bid is now 1 for 5.
That joke is now 1 for 5 the month of October.
Okay. I set you up for that one, Mitch Weber.
I'm real happy about it.
All right. Teamwork.
Cats, small squirrels. Of most animals that will lick their own butthole, squirrels. Most animals that will lick your butthole, jellyfish.
I got a little bit of jellyfish in me, Thomas.
Group of cats, those are just humans pretending to be animals. Don't be fucking stupid. Don't fuck with me, little Dicky. I'm a professional. Oh, centaurs. That's what happens when a man fucks a horse too good. Oh, that's just science. That's just a man heavy on the horse fucking. But, no, we don't want to go back. Centaurs are what happens when the human is the man. You switch it around, though, that's when you get a Minotaur-esque hell monster. Just so fuck responsive. Just remember, man on top, human head. Bottom on top, who knows?
What about griffins?
Griffins are polyamorous. That's it. Griffins swing. That's well known.
What about actor Griffin Dunn?
Griffin Dunn also swings. Write it down. Blake Griffin also swings. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he and Griffin Dunn are in a polyamorous relationship.
Oh.
This is what happens when a monkey and an alligator fall in love and start dancing. This is the early courtship to an even bigger griffin.
What about handsome fellas?
Too handsome. Handsome what?
Fellas.
Handsome fellas, again, all 4 regular animals, right? Working together, coming out on top, just a little more badger than you expected. Just a touch more badger.
Next one's a curveball for you.
Okay.
Tilda Swinton.
Almost. I doubled up
Can
on
I guess? All 4 with an extra dose of jellyfish.
No.
Oh.
Triple badger. Yeah. Goes on. That lady's mostly badger. Beautiful woman, but if you were to run up against her, tough like bristle. This is one that we use. This tells you how many generations of inbreeding it would take to get from an elephant to a flamingo. And it's 11. 10 is almost hard to tell. 10 is a weird, big, weird, skinny pink elephant. 11, boom, flamingo.
Ooh, what are the best animals?
Best animals, hard to gauge. Hard to gauge. What is best? Do you want to go with the most dangerous? Because if you want to go with the most dangerous, you never bet against a jellyfish. All right, because squirrels are angrier, but jellyfish, crafty. All right, but if you want to go with my heart, best animals, ones that work together, big families of animals, big loving things like an anthill. You know who's never lonely? An anthill. Anthill, itty bitty moles. That's really all they are.
You ought to make greeting cards.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach a bunch of those little moles to write and carry them to me directly.
Would you mind taking questions from the audience?
Not at all. Not at all.
Classifications?
Yeah, and I would be delighted so long as it has nothing to do with animals.
Oh.
I'm kidding, I'm teasing. That's the only thing I like to talk about. That's it. I will not talk about the Detroit Metropolitan Zoo. I will not talk about the Indianapolis Children's Museum. I will not talk about Central Park. I will not talk about the Pennsylvania State Museum, as I like to call it, fake zoos. Fake zoos. Don't trust them. Fake zoos.
Oh, I see a hand up.
Hand up.
What is the best way to avoid a fake bear attack?
Best way to avoid a fake bear. Now, do you mean like a fake bear, like something that we commonly call a bear, or do you mean like if a bear pretending he's gonna fuck with you but not really, just like because if a bear's just coming up on you, just like flexing on you, fuck that bear. All right. Bear comes up on you all, but like all of his buddies are there, he don't want to fucking fight. He wants them all to break it up. That's just fucking logic. But one bear alone, you lay down.
Yeah, I mean the bear that we would call a bear, but it's obviously one combination of the main.
Okay, like a big badger? Alright, big badger. Okay, first off, chances are mama bear just looking to take care of her little fake baby bears. Alright? That's not a bad guy. But dude bear, lay down, fake dead, roll over, face down, ass up. That's the way bears like to fuck. He's the thing, he's not going to finish, he just wants to know how it's going to go. Just wants to know he doesn't have to raise a little bear baby with this beautiful face. He doesn't want to do that.
So bears are into edging.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah, that's why they needed the bed that was just right. Right? It can't just be any bed, they need 3 specific beds, everyone tailored to their specific needs. Ooh, I'm a big daddy bear, I need it real hard, right? Yeah. I'm a mom bear, I need you get it. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Are we good? Yeah.
Jellyfish, badger, squirrel. You gotta kill one, fuck one, marry one.
Oh, that's a great question. I'm glad you were in the front row.
Yeah.
Marry, fuck, kill. Jellyfish, squirrel, badger, or did you throw mole in there too?
No, I didn't put one.
No, you don't put mole in there because that's not
he's
to marry a mole.
He's a smart fella. I don't know why.
No, you get that. That's weird. It's weird.
Badger.
It's weird. And you know what I would do is I would make the jellyfish and the badger fight to the death and fuck the winner. That's probably how I would do it. That's what you do. That's honestly, that's actually why they outlawed cockfighting in North America. It's a real thing.
Oh wow.
It's a real thing. Too many people were fucking chickens.
Mitch Weber.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys.
You were.
Thank you. Spread the truth.
That is a hero. This turned off.
If you turn it off and then turn it back on, it'll work.
Turn it up. You do IT? No, I think I should stick with the sick boy one. We have another truth teller. Oh, she was in our very first live meeting speaking about the fact that, who was it? I can't even remember.
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne has been replaced by a clone. We're probably going to get an update on that. Please welcome Jessica St. Stacy.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the truth.
Yeah, it's been a while. Thank you.
It has.
It's been a little while.
About 9 months.
About 9 months, I'd say. I've been trying to call.
So what's going on with Avril Lavigne? I, by the way, if you guys don't know, do have a girlfriend who's a Canadian pop star, Miss Atlantis Morissette. She's my girlfriend. She lives in Canada. She's totally real.
I can confirm. We were supposed to meet with her one weekend for coffee, and she unfortunately had to cancel.
Exactly.
It's interesting that you should bring her up.
Okay, well, she hasn't been in bed. Hi, baby.
Alanis Morissette.
Isn't that ironic that we were talking? Don't you think? I misused ironic, just like my baby cakes does.
Yeah. It's a little too ironic.
Yeah, I really do think.
Yeah. Speaking of
Thank you.
okay, she is actually a married woman. Did you know that about your girlfriend, Alanis Morissette? See that guy right there? That guy in the picture? His name's like Soul-Eye or some shit. He's a white rapper. That's her husband, and those are 2 of their 3 children. I just...
You're lying. There's only one white rapper. And that is MC Chris.
Incorrect. There are several white rappers. You probably went to high school with some of them. Listen, so she now has 3 kids because she just wrote a Huffington Post op-ed about dealing with postpartum depression. I just feel like you should know these things.
Did she mention me in it?
She did not. She talked about Soul-Eye or Soul Face or Swollen Face or whatever he is. Her husband that she's been married to for like 7 years. Are you gonna be okay?
Is this why you're here?
Sort of. There's a little something else I think we should discuss. So I don't know if you remember this or not.
The movie Earth Girls Aren't Easy with Julie Brown, not downtown Julie Brown, and Gina Davis? Yeah, I remember that movie.
Here's the thing, Dickie. About 9 months ago, you and I went on a journey together.
Yeah, we did a truth show at Sellerman's RIP.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Here's the thing, though. We were taken after that.
Like Liam Neeson.
Not quite. We were taken aboard a spacecraft.
You have no recollection of this, do you, Peter?
Of course I don't, because she's a fucking liar,
I'm
Tom.
not lying.
First she lies about Atlantis Morissette, and now she's saying I was abducted by Gina Davis?
You were not. You were not abducted by Gina Davis.
By
You were-
Jeff Goldblum?
No.
And Jim Carrey?
No. You were abducted by the Greys. So was I. We were abducted together. Is it coming back at all?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's continue. So,
That's a real sexy alien thing.
I believe this is it H.R. Geiger? Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
he's got a lot of phallic symbols in his art, and I thought that would be a good representation of what happened between the 2 of us.
Oh, this
Well,
is
we
like
were
a magic
born.
eye. It's like how many penises do you see in the picture?
Well, I know how many I saw. Just the one.
This is checking out. I only have 1 penis.
Yes.
Here's the thing, Dickie. I don't know if you remember this or not, but when we were abducted, we were forced to procreate.
I have to push back here on this one because at the time, Dickie was still suffering from his botched foreskin reattachment surgery.
He screamed the whole time. Yeah.
I had my foreskin surgically reattached because I believe that circumcision is a way to get us used to ritualistic massacre and mutilation to make us not question getting vaccination. So Thomas still has his foreskin, so I found a fellow that works in a van to reattach some of the skin from my inner arm, and the operation didn't take. Long story short, a fellow from the future healed me by laying his hands on me. That's on one of the podcasts too.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and one of the fortunate side effects is that you now have barbed wire around your foreskin.
Yes, that was there barbed wire on?
Well, sort of.
Next slide.
So, what happened when the two of us were together on the spacecraft is you fertilized my egg.
And a face hugger came out.
No, nothing's come out yet. Well, I mean, something came out of you, went into me, but it's still.
You're saying I gave you my special gift?
Yes.
My flower?
Yes.
Next slide.
It didn't go there. But it was geyser-like. I was impressed.
Next slide.
Yeah, that is kind of how it went. Someone just kind of walked me in and said, have at it.
He looks like he's on an old-timey submarine.
It does, but that's sort of what the Greys look like. They don't have those weird pipes coming out of their head, but it's a pretty spot-on depiction, I'd say.
This is very hard to believe. Next slide.
So, this is a selfie that you took right after. Because you wouldn't stop high-fiving me, and my hand needed a break, and you were like, well, then I need to celebrate with some photographic evidence that this actually happened. So this is it. I said, text that to me. You took more than one.
Oh, boy.
This was actually mid-coitus, this one. I think I just said, is it in? And you said, ooh, I think so.
Is this Nikki's whole face?
Yes.
I just don't understand how all of this is possible.
You don't. Well, fortunately for you, I have someone here who can help explain it a little bit better than I can. Your stepdad is here tonight, Dr. Professor T.R.U.T.H.
Oh, I'm gonna have to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Here we go.
Hey, Daddy. This is the man currently fornicating with my mommy.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, please do. In your delicate condition, that could be any minute now. Well, I was going to make this brief. Good evening. I'm Mr. Dr. Terry O'Reilly.
Next slide, Peter.
I'm the Senior Research Fellow of the O'Reilly Institute for Pragmatic Diffusion, and our area of expertise is informing the public that what is commonly known as chemtrails are not chemically harmful, but they are occluding our vision of the giant alien craft that is hovering above our atmosphere.
That explains it. You're not really pregnant, it's just chemtrails occluding your vision.
No.
You think you're pregnant.
Richard Marks Ricketts, I am here to explain to you that with the help of our alien brethren, and after years of wasting your time fantasizing about Atlantis Morissette, when everyone knows that Jessica and the band Rush are the only good Canadian artists, you've finally done something semi-worthwhile, and you've impregnated this young lady. Richard, you're no longer a little Dickie. You're going to be a father.
Father Dickie.
Big dick.
It's got nothing to do with the size of your member, which I am quite certain is not very impressive. You're going to be a father because you placed your penis inside Jessica's vagina.
Wait. Do you have visual aids to show me how babies are made?
Yes, this is how babies are made. The birds, the bees, Bert and Ernie, that's how babies are adopted by gay couples.
The birds and the bees?
Bert and Ernie.
There's no Ernie, sir.
Well, there's... Yes. This is not good lubricant, Dickie, nor is it good for, what is the term for when you don't want to have a child? Contraception. I'm a physicist, not some sort of biologist. Did you use these, or did the aliens force you to use these?
Well, I know when I get an erection, it looks kind of like chapstick coming out of the pube. Could you please go back and explain who all the Berts were to me? Thank you.
Burt Ward is an actor. He may or may not have procreated, and I must say that girl was someone that I would have liked to have procreated with when I was a preteen. Burt Lancaster, he is also an actor. Burt Reynolds is the only person of any great notoriety here because he's been in many good documentaries such as Smokey and the Bandit.
What about Burt Young from Rocky?
Rocky is a figment of Sylvester Stallone's imagination, Dickie, because he didn't make it in the arm wrestling world. And I'm glad you've added Burt, because he's in a homosexual relationship, and there are many children out there who need to be adopted, and the homosexual community is doing a fine job.
There is no such thing as homosexuality. It is a myth created by right-wing propaganda to make liberals look weak. And as I have explained in the past, I have attempted homosexuality more than a handful of times, and there is nothing weak about it. It takes a lot more endurance than I had, sir.
Dickie, we're in Ferndale.
Yes?
Homosexuality is real, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the fact that you have procreated on an alien
I was getting a booty call.
I'm getting booed?
I heard a phone. I thought it was a booty call.
Oh, a booty call?
Yeah.
No, you've already had your one and only of your lifetime. With the assistance of our alien brethren. I would have liked to have heard so much more about this, and you did not share any of this with me.
I didn't know. Please help me how babies are made. We got the Berts and the bees and Bert's bees. Now what?
This is a representation of a BDSM relationship, which may have occurred on... Did he tie you down? You were restrained, but this was a consensual arrangement between you and Richard Marks Ricketts.
I was okay with it.
Well, thank you very much. This has been over 30 years of frustration for this young man.
It has not. I am a leap year baby and about to celebrate my 12th birthday next year on February 29th.
That explains a lot, Dickie, but it doesn't take any of the anxiety away from me that I'm about to be a grandfather. Did you wear a ball gag when you ejaculated?
Of course. I always do that so I don't wake up you and mommy.
Young man, you said you didn't remember any of this. And now you remember that you wore a ball gag?
No, I mean, I always wear a ball gag when I'm about to release. Next slide.
Would be a quite classic Freudian representation of the sex act. A train and a tunnel. I apologize, Jessica, that in no way means to be a scale model of your lovely womanhood. And I would imagine, I'm no expert, I'm not an obstetrician or a gynecologist as much as I might like to be, but I would think that your opening is slightly more moist. So, Dickie,
Thomas?
if you're not already aware, this represents your penis. The train. The tunnel represents Jessica's pop star vagina. And this is the beginning of the procreation of the new life that you have brought into the world that might possibly be part alien. Next slide. This right here is Thomas's penis.
Actually, Thomas's looks a lot more like the one on the right.
No, that looks like yours had your surgery been successful. And that's Bob Ross. All three of those, the two penises and the artist, all three are capable of creating human life by ejaculating semen through the vas deferens.
I believe what you're saying is we made a happy little trade.
You made a happy little being from your sperm, your little Dickie Hazel Park Library swim team, and her Canadian pop star embryos.
Next slide. Oh, now this I can understand.
This is the beginning of the band Fleetwood Mac. Now, what is happening here, Dickie, if you weren't aware, is also happening in here.
So inside of Miss Jessica, there's a dachshund.
Mitch, can you help us out here, please? Inside, I think that's a poor representation of a living fetal human child, although her child may have some alien in it. Since it was procreated out of our atmosphere that Dickie remembers none of except for the ball gag. Next slide, please. Now in Mayberry, sex and black people are both frowned upon. I don't see why we brought this slide. However, Aunt B would not be an aunt if there wasn't procreation. So, this is a representation of old-time America prior to us knowing about alien spacecraft through the great program Project Blue Book.
Is Aunt B the bee in Birds and the Bees?
That's possible, Dickie, I suppose in the most obtuse way, but you've done a lot of drugs and rush in your life.
Is she the bee in Burt's Bees?
Burt's Bees, as we've discussed, is just a lousy lubricant.
The dachshund is getting out.
I will read it for you if you can't see it out there. Then come its arms. Dickie, I really hate to be correct. Did you fist fuck the young lady?
I only vaguely remember a ball gag, which apparently I took off in those pictures from earlier.
When the baby is completely born, the doctor cuts the umbilical cord. We're getting ahead of ourselves, Dickie. Are you prepared to cut the umbilical cord of your own alien son? I apologize for my sexism that I just assumed that it would be a little boy who would grow up to be a preeminent scientist.
I mean, the show's called The Truth. Thomas, I lied about Atlantis Morrison. I never met her.
Oh, we've had a breakthrough.
Why would you lie about Atlantis?
I didn't want you to think I was a virgin, but now since it's clear that I'm not, Jessica, do you have a place to live?
Yes.
Oh, can I move in with you? because when he makes love to my mom, it is hella loud.
She seems to enjoy my sexual machinations. I'm so very proud of you, Dickie. Even though you had nothing to do with it because as the younger generation says, you have no game, my friends the aliens have made it so that you now have a new place to live.
I'm moving out of my mom's basement!
Yes!
It's worth it.
Yes, see, Dickie, the truth brought you to your own home.
Wow. I can't wait to see where we live.
I can't wait to tell Meredith we get to do butt stuff.
Thank you for being here, Jessica and Terry, Daddy.
Please go to Facebook and look up my page, Mr. Dr. T.R.U.T.H. from the O'Reilly Institute for Pragmatic Divulsion. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience.
Also on podcast episode number uno. Thank you. I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah, we'll exchange numbers after.
I'm going to get a phone number from a lady that I impregnated.
Impressive, Dickie.
I'm pretty sure that's the order that that's supposed to happen. So, since the name of this venue is called Go Comedy, the Jacobs brothers who own the place are tyrants, and they make us include a certain percentage of comedy in a show. So, even though Thomas and I believe that stand-up comedy is the lowest form of entertainment, if you can even call it entertainment,
Yes, yes.
we are contractually obligated to include a percentage of comedy. So please welcome to the stage Kyle Forsyth, Alien Hobnobber. So, yeah. Do your little skits for us.
I forgot that I had that picture. That dude was cool.
So is this a spoiler? Did you know that I had sex on a flying saucer the entire time?
I did. I talked to Jessica before the show.
Okay,
that's the gray guy. That's the gray one.
Give us some snappy
That's the dude
one-liners
who
about
made you fuck
babies.
Jessica. About babies?
Yeah, show us your skills,
I don't
comedian.
have babies. I have little brothers. That's they're 13 and 16. They're not babies anymore. I don't want babies though because I pretty much had to help raise them because their dad wasn't in their life. They have a different dad than I do, and their dad's a real piece of shit. He's not, they don't see their dad. He occasionally sends them birthday gifts in the mail. That's it. Back in September, he sent them 2 hats for their birthdays. Their birthdays are 6 months apart, neither of them in September.
I can't tell exactly if you've seamlessly worked your way into your first bit or if you're crying for help right now.
A little bit of both. I still live at home with my mom, so sort of half and half here. I don't know.
Isn't it all stand-up comedy just to cry for help?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait a second, you still live at home with your mom?
I do, and my 2 little brothers.
I never would have guessed it by your jean jacket with pop culture patches all over it.
You should impregnate someone at your own house.
My mother? I live with 2 little brothers. I can't impregnate my little brother. I've tried. No. That's it. All right, I haven't done that.
Was that off the cuff or was that a written bit?
It's off the cuff. I don't have all my, I forgot to bring out my hot, I'm fucking my brother bits. That's,
The podium's for our heroes, not for
sorry, not for leaning on like a cool guy. My bad. I guess I was talking about my little, they're 13 and 16. Their dad sends them birthday gifts. September, he sent them 2 hats in the mail. Not even like good hats though.
Are you doing like a recap?
I am. I'm trying to hop back into this, and it's becoming weirder and weirder.
Yeah, comedy is all about timing, and we must let him reestablish his
I feel like we did a poor job of introducing him. Maybe we should try it again. Taylor, can you give us the old black and white? All right. Please welcome to the stage, sad person, Kyle Forsyth.
Thank you all. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. All right.
Sorry, Kyle. I was hoping that Pete would have lowered the lights. And then
Okay,
But
so we gotta run this again?
he may have
Some lights?
diarrhea and not
Do
be
we-
up there right
Okay,
now.
all right. He has diarrhea. I know all about diarrhea.
Oh, dear. Bit on diarrhea.
I don't have. They're making out in the front row when I'm talking about diarrhea up here. Is that what, like, keeps you guys going? You're like, I start talking about diarrhea, it's like, what the fuck,
We do not kink shame here.
I'm not kink shaming, man. I've been.
Wait. You were saying these two were making out?
They kissed for like 2 seconds.
I
That's close.
swear to God, I thought that was a girl hanging out with her dad. This is freaking me out now. I'm glad I can't hear out of this ear.
I mean, it could
He
still
looks
be.
like a loud kisser.
It still could be a girl making out with her dad. We haven't discovered that that's not the case yet, so it's still up in the air for debate.
Sir, Hazel Park is down the street. You know what? I feel like I just went up
brother,
you.
right?
We should start you over again.
Okay.
I won't talk. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Guilford Gottlieb, so I know a lot about comedy. So please welcome to the stage your first comedian, Kyle Forsyth.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
We won't interrupt you this time.
Okay, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Please feel free to do your bits.
Yeah, I live at home with my mom and my 2 little brothers. All right, they're 13 and 16. How about that? All right, they jerk off a lot now. That's all they do. They do it for 30 minutes at a time in the bathroom, multiple times a day. And so I started messing with like my brothers now. My 13-year-old brother, he came out of the bathroom the other day, and the second he came, and he was in there for 30 minutes, and then I just go, "Hey, why does it smell like cum in here?" And he goes, "Cum doesn't even smell." I was like, "How would you know? You checked, all right?"
What does it smell like?
I don't know.
Why do you say it smells like cum in here?
Cum smells different depending on the person. I feel like yours
How
smells
many
like
people's
pork.
cum have you smelled?
Enough. I mean,
How did you come about all these different people's cum?
I just find it. I'm a cum connoisseur, a connoisseur, if you will.
I think you're upsetting that poor person who came by yourself.
Are you a sommelier too? Is that how you do the term for it?
No, but I hear Detroit comedian Mike Bobbitt is a bit of a sommelier.
Detroit comedian, I've heard of that guy. I hear he's a real weirdo, am I right? I hear he's pretty depressed like most comedians, am I right? Alright, cool.
I mean, not to the point that you have to hide behind a half-witted character or anything like that to escape from his real life.
Yeah, what? I mean, he seems like he's got, only a person who clearly has issues with who they are as a person would hide behind a character, and Mike Bobbitt is not that kind of
Wait,
guy.
did you say
Mike
clearly or
Bobbitt-
queerly? Because Alex Bosanovic is one of the producers of this show, and he's a homosexual, allegedly.
Oh, allegedly?
Yeah.
What? So it hasn't been proven fully that he's a homosexual.
What do you think about Alex Bosanovic?
I don't know, but I believe no one has any recorded instances of him performing any type of homosexual acts.
That's not what Tumblr said. I follow a lot of Tumblr blogs. It's all brother fucking. No, I don't know why I'm calling back to that. That's a weird choice to call
Certainly
back
not
to.
because it killed the first time. You know what? I think you need a fresh start. I don't think this is going very well. Skip all the brother stuff and we'll clean up again. Do your clean set. Please welcome children's entertainer and not a pedophile, incest person, Kyle Forsyth.
Hey, I'm Kyle Forsyth, totally sane person. Hi, my favorite TV shows are serial killer shows. I like serial killer shows for the same
Kyle.
reason hairdressers like Rachel Ray. It's like I watch TV shows about the career I wish I could have. So.
Do you laugh at the end of your bits to make the audience feel comfortable?
No, it's because I'm
or yourself?
uncomfortable. It's I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a big thing up here.
Okay.
I do that because I'm uncomfortable.
Should I have not stepped on your Rachel
No,
Ray?
it's okay. It wasn't a Rachel Ray, but it's more about serial killers, if anything. I like serial killer shows. My favorite show on Netflix is called I Am a Killer, and it's a documentary series. It's fantastic. It's just murderers being like, yeah, I did it, and it's really good. My favorite episode, there's the dude, he murdered 5 people, and then he got caught and escaped jail for 4 days, and after he escaped jail, they caught him, and then they interviewed him for the TV show. And in the TV show, his interview is what makes it my favorite episode. He goes, yeah, I understand, I murdered 5 people, but I also escaped jail for 4 days, and I was out in the free world for 4 days. And I saw little old ladies getting in their cars, and I didn't carjack them or anything for 4 days. I'm a good person, I don't belong here.
Granted, I've only been doing comedy for about 3 months now, but I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea while you're doing your art to remind people that they could be watching Netflix instead.
There's a lot of good stuff on Netflix though, like murderer shows. They're my favorite. They genuinely are. Because they're like people, like murderers are insane. They have the great, and they always think that they did the right thing, which I mean is the same way I feel about this stand-up set until I got up here. And, so, when I wrote it, some of it, I don't know. The brother fucking stuff was off the cuff, you know, just speaking from the heart. But I don't know. I'm calling back to that again. I really like this because that bit's not supposed to get a laugh because it's really gross.
Oh, is that what they call alternative comedy?
Yeah.
Or an alternative to comedy?
I don't know, yeah, man, I like to offer people a nice alternative to comedy, you know, just go to comedy shows and, like, not make them laugh. It's a nice alternative to comedy.
Can we skip forward to your closing joke so we can bring another hero up here?
Yeah, you want me to do a closing joke?
Oh, yes, please.
I can do a story. Am I going to get interrupted again?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, I was hoping
That's
so.
sort of the bit.
I'll try to do a closing joke. I had a girlfriend all through high school, and we dated for years.
That seems far-fetched.
It's very true. We dated for years. We loved
Was
each
it
other.
Atlantis Morissette?
No. Her name was Kayla. We spent a lot of time together. We loved each other. We lost our virginity to each other, like you did with Jessica, except that's what I told her. And we were together for years. She was over at my house one day. We were 16 years old, and she was giving me a hand job. I'm not bragging about it. There's way more negative to the story than there is positive.
Oh, is this the story where you have the seizure?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love this one. And then like she panics. Yeah, because she has to explain why your pants are down. Oh, they're gonna love this. They're gonna love this. I hope I didn't step on the ending.
No. So I was there, and then she was like, and then I started going, and having a seizure, all right? She's giving me a hand job, and I started having a seizure.
Tell them that you're epileptic, so they have.
I'm epileptic.
Okay.
Yeah, I take medicine for it. Until I
probably should have said that before the seizure part.
That would be a good part of the setup.
Yeah, I don't, because then it's sort of like, where's the part that I had a seizure, right? Just, no? Okay. I like how whenever I ask a question, they just stare at me. They ask me a question every 5 seconds. I ask one, and I just get eyes. That's it. So, I was 16, hand job, had a seizure. I woke up 30 minutes later, my pants were around my ankles, she was crying her eyes out, and my mom was in the room.
Oh, now tell the part about how she panicked and said that you started having a seizure and you ripped your pants down.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom, because after you have a seizure, you can't talk. Like, you know what you want to say, but it's just babble. Like, I remember, like, medical...
Oh, are you having a seizure currently?
After you have a seizure, you can't talk. After you have a seizure, for like 30 minutes to an hour after, you can't put words together.
Did you
like,
have a
I
seizure
remember...
before you came on stage?
Yeah, that's why I'm not putting words together right. It has nothing to do with the interruptions.
What's the funny part of this story now?
It's the funny
right
part.
now, everyone feels sad that.
Trying, yeah. It's,
so
I had a seizure. My mom, my girlfriend at the time were there, and then my mom. I can't talk, so I'm just like, like when I want to say words. They asked me who the president is, and I said JFK at one point. It's real weird. And then so my mom asked my girlfriend. She goes, "Sweetie, calm down. Tell me what's going on here. What's happening?" My girlfriend crying her eyes out goes, "I don't know. He started having a seizure, and then he pulled his pants down." Isn't how fucking seizures work. Like, you can't have a seizure and they just be like, "Oh no! Are you into this kind of thing?" That's it. Thank you.
comedy now?
I believe it is even worse than I believe that I thought.
Well, he seems like a good kid.
Very spunky.
Very spunky. One more time for Kyle Forsyth. Ooh. To set this up at the end, you're going to find out that this man has created something you are a big fan of. Please welcome to the stage, he's right there, Carl Stein.
What's happening, boys? Thank you. You guys know my work.
I don't know that Thomas is really familiar with who you are exactly, but you are going to blow his mind.
Oh, yeah, you ever hear a little thing called Goosebumps?
No.
Well, that's a series of books, and it's all real, and it happened to me and my boys a bunch of times.
You seem very cocky about it.
Yeah, I'm a big selling author, sold like 400 million books. I write one a month. It's not a big deal.
Wait, you wrote the books as well?
Well, yeah, I wrote all the books, and that's how I got real famous and rich.
Wow.
Published off.
Is that a corduroy coat?
Well, no, yeah, you betcha. Cost $400,000.
That's like a amount of money a rich person would pay for something.
Yeah, I do a lot of rich guy stuff. That's kind of my thing now.
Is that why you look like Gavin Rossdale from the band Bush, circa 1994?
Yes, it is. When I started writing books, I would look at my poster on my wall of Gavin Rossdale and say, someday that's going to be me.
I bet if Gwen Stefani saw you today, she'd be like,
we don't talk anymore.
she'd want to walk into your spider webs.
You bet not. Gwen Stefani, I got real bad blood.
Oh. Next slide.
Weird. All right, here's what we got here. I was hanging out with a bunch of my boys, me and my guys, and we got goosebumped super bad this one weekend. We were sneaking into my aunt's house, and she was like, let's go to a Halloween store. They got a big old freaking ventriloquist dummy in there.
Oh, like Jeff Dunham?
Exactly, but funnier. And
probably less racist too.
Barely. You can't tell from the picture, he says some foul stuff.
I think you said funny, I think you meant to say funny.
Oh, yeah, funny. You know, like Jeff Dunham, but like comedy.
Exactly.
So I accidentally was looking at this greeting card that you can see in the background here on these shelves, and I opened it up, said the wrong one, brought this dummy straight to freaking life. And boy, did he terrorize me and my boys. That weekend sucked.
You wrote a book about it.
I sure
Is
did.
that book the prequel to Chucky?
Yes, it was. Night of the Living Dead, Part 1. Chucky's gonna come in the next part. Oh, geez, boys, this goosebumps for me. It's bringing me right back to when this happened.
In the corn maze?
Yeah, me and my boys were doing a bunch of Wizard of Oz stuff, and we were just, you know, traipsing down the trail. And we were on
I'm sorry, Carl. Can you please define Wizard of Oz stuff for our audience?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I of course know what you mean.
Sure. But for the rest of you who are unacquainted, like, when you get a bunch of boys together and you freaking hit the dorm room, you do a bunch of beers, and you're like, hey, what if we rolled up and got sucked up into a big tornado, went to a different area? That's what Wizard of Oz is for me.
Wizard of Oz stuff. You're welcome, audience.
So we was doing big Wizard of Oz, me and my boys, and we're cruising down the trail. I got the lion, and I got the big can of Pepsi or whatever that guy was, and we run into this guy, and I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, that's just my dad's blue shirt with a bunch of hay in it, and wouldn't you know, a secret evil scarecrow came to life, goosebumps me real bad. Wrote a book about it. Oh, jeez. Now, this is actually my boys.
This is one in the bottom center, Kyle Forsyth.
Yeah, he's part of the crew. This isn't even part of Goosebumps. This is just hanging out before we got Goosebumps one time.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can see we all look pretty alike. We dress the same when we go out.
Now, was this on a Saturday?
Oh yeah, this is about 9 a.m. on a Saturday, which is when we start partying. And my boys just do it like that. Oh, here we go.
This is my favorite scene from Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, it is. This wampa tore my buddy Zeke's arm clean off real bad. It looks
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Scarier in person. I mean, it looks kind of cuddly when you see it up there, but well, that thing's about 8 feet tall.
What the fuck are you talking about? You see those fangs? You think that's cuddly?
I'll tell you what, those fangs are used for eating arm meat off. That's how they got Zeke.
You say meat, do you mean penis?
Real bad, yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay, so this is
Terrifying.
I don't know if you guys know about stuff like this, but when you become a real huge, rich author with corduroy jackets, in the year 2016, you got to file taxes or any other tax year beginning. So this is paperwork of me paying $25,000 on the $4 million I earned that year because I'm in a tax bracket that allows that.
Damn, son.
This seems like the ultimate goosebump.
Oh boy, howdy. When I got audited, that's my next book. Okay. Now what you can see here is a graph of how much blood I donated between December and July, and then also how many blue raspberry Slurpees I had.
So, are you donating blood because you feel like it's your duty? Not because you need the money?
No, well, what actually happened was I had a real bad goosebump situation where I got cursed by a haunted blood bank. And then me and my boys got stuck having to donate blood a bunch of times.
I only donate my blood to blood credit unions.
Were you cursed by a 7-Eleven for the Slurpees?
Oh, yeah, that was a different goosebump. But that one ended well because I got to drink a bunch of blue raspberries, so I don't...
Hey, it looks like you peak in July. I bet that's on 7-Eleven free Slurpee Day.
Oh, you betcha, buddy. Me and my boys was in a van going to every 7-Eleven in the whole area, just hitting them up and being like, well, time for some blue raspberry.
I understand that's how rich people stay rich.
That is true.
Frugality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez. Well, if this isn't a bunch of books by my brother who I don't speak to anymore, Spencer.
Do you not speak to him because of the reason Kyle Forsyth's brothers probably don't want to speak to him?
I'm glad we're calling back to that. That is exactly why. When he was 13 and I was Kyle's age, we got into an altercation. And,
how old of a fella do you think Kyle was exactly? I can't tell because he has that real baby face, but...
I'm going to say 28.
What would you say, Thomas?
I would say 17.
I'm going to go 24. Kyle?
25.
Oh, I'm closest without going over. My prize is I never have to listen to Kyle again.
This situation is ultimately the greatest goosebumps of them all, man. That's... You know, with what happened with him.
This is what I'm most excited about. Thomas, are you aware that R.L. Stine not only wrote the books, but he also wrote the Goosebumps musical that's sort of like Hamilton? It's like a rap musical.
You know, I was saying to my publisher, I admire all of my books, but what if they rhymed and I got a bunch of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 25-year-olds to sing them? And that's why we came up with the idea. My publisher wanted to do it off-Broadway, but I said, no, I'm very authentic. Let's do it off-off. So,
Mr. Stein, I know this is a huge request, and you weren't necessarily prepared for this. I do not drive. Thomas drives me in the Truth-Mobile, and he listens to your soundtrack all the time.
Oh, sure.
Would you mind doing an impromptu performance of the theme song to Goosebumps the musical, the rap musical?
All right,
Pete, do we have...
All right, the thing you gotta know is when I say who you gonna call, you guys gotta say Goosebumpsers. When you're with your brother and he's 13, who you gonna call?
Goosebumpers!
When you're with your boys on a Saturday morning and you're doing Wizard of Oz, who you gonna call?
Goosebumpers!
Will you let Thomas take a line?
Oh yeah, get in there, Thomas.
This beat getting you back from the time you made tuned in out and touched my penis.
Give it up for Thomas, guys!
Thomas Luge! DJ Luge!
with what looks like a Yeti, who you gonna call?
When it's a hot day in July and you're going to 7-Eleven, what are you gonna order?
Blue Slurpees.
There we go, that was a trick one.
I know your music. Mitch Weber, do a line. In the song, not of cocaine.
I was just doing a line.
Oh, he was doing a line. I'm sorry, Carl Stein.
Are you rich too? When you're hanging out with your boys and you're feeling pretty low, what are you gonna file? Your 1040. We're workshopping that. That's why we're doing it off.
When you're down in Ferndale and you want to see a show, where are you gonna go? Go Comedy!
When you're hanging out with your aunt, she got a ventriloquist dummy, and is it like Jeff Dunham? Not funny.
Goosebumpers!
That's another one we're workshopping.
Thomas, do another line.
If it's good, I'll put it in the show.
When you're in a cursed blood bank giving blood, who you gonna call?
Goosebumpers!
All right, the guy making out with his daughter, do a line. Woo. That worked out how I thought it was going to. All right, you can throw your voice. So we're gonna throw it back to this person right here, who's keeping her glass up to her mouth, hoping that will mean that I'll not stand here.
Drinking's not gonna help.
Chug, chug, chug. Okay, your friend wants to sing. All right, well, I just gave the flu to that woman. This woman thinks that this is fun when other people get picked on.
When you're put on the spot and you don't know what to say.
Who you gonna call?
Terry, Daddy?
Always ready.
Well, that was the end of the song.
That's the story of my life.
I know.
Thank you for the grandson.
Carl Stein, everybody!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna be a daddy.
Are you excited about being a daddy, Dickie?
I'm excited about being a daddy. I'm excited that you rapped. I'm gonna have Carl Stein sign my butt cheeks. Thank you all for coming out to the Truth. Please listen to the podcast. There's postcards in the lobby that have the information. Give it up for Pete up in the booth. Please come back to Go Comedy. There are a lot of great holiday shows. They'll be doing improv comedy. They won't be telling a lot of truth, but you know, you can enjoy those too. And thank you all for coming. You've all been exceptional. Thank you very much.